we're definitely seeing an acceleration of sustainability and climate action in the golf sector and in and through the golf industry. And it's accelerating at the minute as a result of a number of different drivers that are coming into play and strengthening. On the sort of risks side, the industry is really starting to understand some of the risks of climate change, so extreme heat, droughts, access to water, where water deficits are occurring around the world. Also issues to do with flooding and the impact that has on grassroots facilities. So these extremes of wet and dry are definitely climate impacts on the sport. And that's on the amateur side of the game, the participation side, but also in terms of tournaments and hosting events. And then I think there are other drivers to do with land stewardship and access to land. That's a finite and precious resource. So there is some pressure and conversation about, our golf course is the best and most productive use of that land. They actually can be incredibly productive uses of land and protectors of urban green space and things, but that message needs to get out. What is that productivity and what's the value of that land that's being primarily used for golf, but also delivers a whole range of other social and environmental services. So that's important. And I think image and reputation, golf has sometimes fairly, sometimes unfairly been criticized for its environmental impact. And so, the obligation there is on the sport to come out and explain and describe what it's doing now, what it's doing to improve and continually improve, and what it wants to deliver in the future in a more sustainably driven world. So those are some of the risks, but there are big opportunities for, a land and community-based sport like golf to really step forward as a leader. I mean, it's quite unique in bringing people into contact with nature on their doorstep, in their community. So the opportunity for golf clubs to be catalytic and leaders and sort of hotspots for sustainability in the community, to look after their land and resources, but to spin that out across, schools and families and, other businesses. A golf club can be a fulcrum for sustainability in the community, no doubt about it. And then for tournaments also to take that mantle on and to use their sort of, the landscape, which is the focal point for the sporting drama, a semi-natural or natural landscape, which again is quite unique. So how do you take the stewardship of that landscape, all of the responsibility that can come around the staging of that event, plug in some credible ambassadors and reach lots of people in a credible and authentic way. And I think if golf does that, then, its relationships with the public sector, governments and local, state, national, international government, public sector bodies, golf will be seen to be really part of the solution and a really valued asset in sustainability. But then on the corporate side, it's good for the game as well. It aligns very well with the corporate sponsors that are currently and would be connected with golf in the future. It's a strong agenda. And then we are seeing surveys where particularly the younger demographic of people coming in who golf would hope will play the game are sustainability minded. So what's that alignment between a sport that is respectful and replenishing, and good for people and good for the environment? That's a really important message the game needs to get out. And it needs to do that with substance. It needs to do it with evidence, with credibility, with authenticity, and not just, communicating what it is now, but like all of us, what that pathway going forward is to become ever more sustainable and a bigger contributor on the issues that we all face.